Hello and welcome to the Recursion Cafe, where we play games from the discard pile. In today's game we have George on the left and myself on the right, and we are playing with some of the new characters from For King and Country. So George is playing Black Widow, a ranged hero with 2 move, 13 health and a sidekick, also ranged, in Maria Hill. And she starts with a 6-card hand, one of the cards being the Moscow Protocol, one of her schemes, which is a mission. There are 5 unique missions in her deck, and when you play one, you then reveal cards from your deck until you draw another one. It's a very cool, it's kind of side quest mechanic. On the right, I am playing Black Panther, who is a melee hero, 14 health, 2 move. Whenever he boosts either movement or attack or defense, he draws a card, and cards can be stored in his Vibranium suit here. They do that through kind of certain cards in his deck, and they can only be used to boosts, and they are typically your opponent's cards, which is pretty exciting. So George starts with a double maneuver and discards a Widow's Line because he does start with 6 cards in hand. I will move into the middle with a double maneuver and just sit tight, kind of pointing a laser turret at him, and he's going to be pointing the reinforced gloves at me, and we're going to be nice and close, which suits me better. So Caught in a Web, 3 value into an Anti-Metal Claws, which is also 3 value when adding the boost of Caught in a Web. However, you can boost this card, and I choose to boost this card because I want the draw. I think I might have been a bit low on attacks and defenses at this point, which is weird to have that opening hand. I think I mulliganed in. Now is a boosted 5 or 6 into a 2. However, I may boost this card, and I will boost it with Analyze and Adjust. A really good card, unfortunately, but it does have 3 boost value, so I only take 1 damage, and I draw another card. Playing Black Panther kind of really incentivizes you just to boost and keep things going, because he provides so much tempo. I will use the laser turret because George left Maria Hill in range of it, and then I'll maneuver and step back. So some damage has been done either way so far. It's a pretty neutral beginning. George will double maneuver and just step back, forcing me to come and engage. I will maneuver and then I'll play Tactical Remote Scanning, one of Black Panther's most important cards, to steal the top 2 cards of the opponent's deck and put them in the suit. Here we have a 1 boost and a 2 boost. Crucially, it's one of Black Widow's 4 attacks. So that's important to kind of know that it's there and take that away from Black Widow. So here is a maneuver and a boost in. Maria Hill taking the battlefield item, the +2, and then Black Widow decides, you know what, I'm just going to step away. So this time I will play a Stalking Panther, so I move up to 3 spaces and gain an action as both of my fighters. And I'll move right up next to Black Widow, still with 2 actions. The first action will be an attack, a Analyze and Adjust into a double identity. No damage is done. Black Widow may swap with Maria Hill, but regardless I will steal the top card of Black Widow's deck, which is Caught in a Web, another 2 value boost. So we've got 3 cards in my suit already. That is an after combat cancel, which is quite nice to take away from Black Widow. That being said, a lot of Black Panther's effects are during combat, so it's not as strong, that card, unfortunately. Black Widow will move in, decides to go on the offensive, probably has quite a few cards in hand, so wants to spend them, and it's an offensive feint into Ancestral Insight. So I don't, unfortunately, steal another card with that ability, but I don't take any damage. So there you go. It was a good bait by George there. And here we have a Wakanda Forever into a Widow's Kiss. Wakanda Forever, Black Panther's signature card, allowing him to boost twice. So I'll boost with the 2 boost value 2s that I stole from Black Widow's deck, leaving it as a 7. So some damage goes through to Widow, and I draw 2 cards because of it, and I'll just keep the offense going. This time it's my turn to bait with a regroup into a double identity. So Black Widow can swap if she wants and sit on that +2 where Maria is, and I will simply just draw a card to replace. So Black Widow took a little bit of damage there, but still in it for the long run. She's got a good tactical position, standing next to that +2 standard issue shield blaster there. I think it's time to just step back. I'll stand by the rocket pack and just maneuver again. So I think I'm up to around 7 cards there. Black Widow steps in and plays her first mission scheme, the Foren's agenda. She has to be next to the opposing hero and deals 2 damage to each opposing fighter in her zone, and that's unfortunately both of us. And we'll reveal the next mission, which is the Kinshasa Directive. She wants to be in her starting space, which is right next to, forcing the opponent to discard 2 cards right there. It was not great of me to put both my fighters in the same zone, so well played, George, for kind of completing a mission in that corridor. So Shuri is now going to attack from at the end of the corridor. I may as well make use of the fact that they're both in the same zone. Unfortunately, George defends with the Widow's line, and his effect lets him move Shuri out of the same zone. So Shuri gets the heal, but Black Panther does not. So that was a really well called play there. It was a little bit telegraphed on my part, but it's what you gotta do, I suppose. And Black Panther for the second action is going to... It thinks about attacking Black Widow, but actually is going to step back. Because Shuri doesn't want to be in the same zone as Maria Hill with a +2 sitting there. Upon, second look at the map. So we have the Kinshasa Directive. I discard 2 cards, I had them ready. It was a regroup and cat-like reflexes. So that's another mission completed by a Black Widow, and he can acquire a new mission. We may or may not have forgotten that, or he might not have any missions left. But this is, I think, George's second game with Black Widow, so either way, these things happen, and it's fine. I will use the rocket pack. So Black Panther with a jetpack flies off to the other side of the helicarrier and decides to take on Maria Hill with that mechanical wrench. She will not use it. It will be a Wakanda Forever into a life model decoy, which feels like a bit of overkill, but what this means is I can decline the boost, and Maria does not get that trigger. So she does not die, and just kind of sits around on 1 health, which is rather annoying since she's sat at a +2. I think I'm kind of gambling on the fact that she might not have any cards that she wants to use in hand. Looks like Black Widow double maneuvers, and then Black Panther is going to hit Maria Hill, this time with a feint, just in case it's another life model decoy, but instead it's a double identity. And actually that fires before the feint, so George will swap both of his fighters, and the feint does no damage. Black Widow is now sitting on that +2, and so I will decide discretion is the better part of valor and step away. I'm still in range of Maria, but that's usually less of a threat generally than Black Widow's 5s and whatnot. So George thinks about his next option. He will maneuver for the first one to take a card. He will kind of more or less swap his fighters around, and Black Widow will take a shot at Black Panther. So here we go. It's a Widow's Bite into an Ancestral Insight. Fortunately for me, I do win the combat, so his ability does not fire, but mine does, and I will steal his 5, or one of his 5s, the Widow's Sting, which is a good steal for me, because I don't think Black Widow has any hard hitting cards, so yeah, it's a good find. I will take the opportunity and hit back. It is a Vibranium Shockwave into a Corner Web, which will not cancel during combat. I'll use the 5 that I just stole, and it is a 4 into a 3, only the 1 damage, but that's also a card draw for me as well, for my ability, and then I will maneuver and just step into that control center or corridor area out of fire. So now Black Widow has to come to me to make it happen, and she does. She brings Maria with her. And is she going to go for Black Panther? Oh no, she decides to back off instead. That's fine. I think has a hand of 7 cards at this point. Maybe doesn't have enough defenses. I feel like if that were the case, he might have boosted away, because he knows I have a handful of cards and I'm not afraid to boost, but there we are. Shuri steps away and Black Panther steps in to Black Widow. It is an undefended attack indeed. Ancestral Insight to 4, so that's 4 damage through. It's a big hit, and then I steal a feint off the top of George's deck, which is unfortunate because that does cancel a lot of Black Panther's shenanigans with Wakanda Forever and boosts and whatnot. Black Widow will tactically play the Magical Sanction, so she has to be in my starting space, but she'll deal 2 damage to all of my fighters across the map and acquire a new mission. Again, I'm not sure if we forgot or we simply decided there weren't any missions left. Second action will be an attack at Black Panther. And it's from Maria, so it's an Acting Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. into a Microwave Mesh, so 2 damage goes through unless I boost it. That card from Maria Hill has so much text on it. I will boost it, by the way. But it's a great card. It's a full versatile, lets both of Black Widow's characters move up to 3 spaces through people, and will also recur a scheme. Most likely the Madripoor sanction, yeah, there it is, because that's honestly one of the most powerful, letting you just carpet bomb all your opponent's fighters anywhere they are on the map, as long as you're in that space. Black Panther will try and take the fight to Black Widow though, and keep her off that, as well as keeping the pressure up. She only has 5 health left, so here's a 2. Do I have a 3 boost in hand? I mean, I think if I did, I would have played it already. So here is the 1 boost with the feint, so it's 3 damage and the card draw. But I know that Black Widow is unlikely to have any defenses in hand so far. So here's an attack, possibly with a move effect, just to try and get away. So Widow's bite into a cat-like reflexes. So the damage does go through, I take a damage, I have to discard a card, and I did not win the combat, so I am not able to move a fighter. I think I might just be deciding which card to discard. There it is, a Stalking Panther, which reduces my ability to chase after Black Widow, but there it is. Here we are. It is a Moscow Protocol for the second action. Draw a card, gain an action, acquire a new mission, which will be the Madripoor sanction, the one that he just shuffled back in. I was wondering what the plan was there. And then there's a swap, which is a really good swap because Black Panther has to travel so far just to get to Black Widow that it becomes not very viable. But here we play the tactical remote scanning and we reveal that George only had 2 cards left in his deck and only 2 health left. So his next action would be maneuver, and he takes the 2 damage and it is game. So there we are, our first match between us two of Black Panther and Black Widow. I really enjoyed Black Panther. He just steps on the gas and doesn't let up. I've also played with Black Widow. She seems very cool. Having the kind of mission side quest is really interesting. I do find a lot of the time I don't always have the cards that I want to play, either attack or defense, or for her sidekick or for her. But she's a very versatile fighter and she's a lot of fun to play with. Thanks again for watching. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.